Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm George Grace Jr. up on Wednesday evening, Peoria Municipal Band. Great concert lined up for you. Mr. Noah Johnson is the winner of our Youth Soloist contest. He'll be performing an alto saxophone solo tonight. Miss Courtney Huffman Frye is our vocalist for this evening. We've prepared what we think is a variety of music that we think that you will enjoy. So please welcome Courtney Huffman and Dr. David Vroman.
Thank you so much. Please rise if you are able and join me in singing our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets with glee, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Well, good evening. Glad you could join us tonight. Nice breeze, nice weather, so it's turned out to be a great night. Should be an exciting week for everybody. I want to remind you about Sunday night and the big fireworks at Glen Oak Park. I'll probably remind you a couple times. And we'll actually start playing on Sunday night about 8 o'clock. But you will not want to, if you're planning on going that night, wait till that time. They will close Prospect a little earlier, so if you watch online and check things out, you want to get there in plenty of time to be able to enjoy the concert and the fireworks that follow. You folks out by the train tracks, you all know this probably, but you never know, there might be a new person. And last week I made this gesture and was surprised at what happened. So, but if you hear this sound out there, we just ask that you stand up and move back by the cars. You can leave your chairs right there, but otherwise the train's just going to sit there and keep doing that. Well, we're going to start with something that'll take us back to the days of the Revolutionary War, actually. And this piece was actually first performed in 1987, but it contains some 3 songs that come from way back when. It's entitled Concord, and of course Concord has a rich history, and for a long time was really one of the cultural centers in this country. But there are 3 traditional tunes that are here. A fife and drum marching tune that's called the White Cockade, and it's kind of still played today as a British military tradition piece. Also America, but the America that William Billings wrote. William Billings was a real patriot and an amateur musician. He was actually a tanner by trade. Is anybody a tanner? I just want to check real quick. No, okay. And then finally, Yankee Doodle, and Yankee Doodle being presented in a little bit different way in this particular arrangement, but often associated with the Revolutionary War. This is Claire Grunman's Concord. Give Mrs. Graves on the piccolo another round of applause. And then Jeremy Clark back there on the snare drum. That was our fife and drum group. How many people have been to the Dirksen Museum down in Pekin? Been down there at all? And so Everett McKinley Dirksen, American politician, okay, and somebody that played a really high, visible, and key role in being just right here from Central Illinois for many years. Helped pass the Civil Rights Act in 1964 and 68. And he was kind of known, his nickname was the Wizard of Ooze because of his flamboyant style when he would speak. And so he did actually 4 spoken word albums. Has anybody else here recorded 4 albums? Bill? No. Okay. And this one was done with composer John Kakavas in 1966. And what was interesting about this one is just that this particular, here's Everett Dirksen at 71 years of age, and he became the oldest person to reach Billboard's Hot 100's top 40 with this particular single. So you'll have to imagine his voice, but we're going to play the music that went with it. It's entitled Gallant Men. Everett Dirksen, Gallant Men. You can find many recordings on YouTube. Give it a listen this week. Well, you've briefly met our vocal soloist tonight, and she is a native of Bend, Oregon. Is there anybody else here that comes from Oregon, the state of? There's one back there. How about Oregon, Illinois? Anybody here from Oregon, Illinois? Just checking. And Courtney has a Bachelor of Music degree from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, a Master of Music degree from the University of Southern California. And then she took first place in the Nats Artist Award competition in Nashville, Tennessee, and that is no small feat, by the way. Made a New York solo recital debut at some place called Carnegie Hall. I've heard about that. Performed a winner's recital at the 51st Nats National Convention in Salt Lake City, and from there it's a whole list of things. She's been featured as a soloist with Boston Baroque as well as our Peoria Bach Festival, for example. She's been a soloist on the High Desert Chamber Music Series, Andover Chamber Music Series, First Church, and it just goes on and on and on. She's also an adjunct voice instructor up at Bradley University. So please welcome Courtney Huffman Frye.
Thank you so much. So this first song I'll be singing for you comes from one of the most beloved musicals of all time, Carousel, by Rodgers and Hammerstein. It's funny because growing up, I watched musicals all throughout my childhood and even my young adulthood. And my mom never let me watch Carousel. And I think it's because it was so depressing that she didn't want to watch it. But I later find out, after being a musician and getting to know this music, I think it contains probably the most beautiful music by Rodgers and Hammerstein. So I would like to sing for you now. I'm sorry, Mom, but If I Loved You from Carousel by Rodgers and Hammerstein.
If I loved you, time and again I would try to say all I'd want you to know. If I loved you, words wouldn't come in an easy way, round in circles I'd go, longing to tell you, but afraid and shy. I'd let my golden chances pass me by. Soon you'd leave me, off you would go in the mist of day. Never, never to If I loved you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to change it up a little bit. Got to have some fireworks, right? 4th of July is coming. Yes? This next song is a soprano favorite and one that I have been singing since I was in high school. It is from the 1911 operetta, The Enchantress by Victor Herbert. Anyone familiar with Victor Herbert out there? Oh, yeah. I got some hands. One of them's my student, and she's sung this before. So, basically, I am a princess who really just wants to be a singing actress. So here is Art is Calling for Me from The Enchantress by Victor Herbert.
Papa is a king, so I am a princess, I know it. But court etiquette is a dull, dreary thing. I just hate it all, and I show it. To sing on the stage, that's the one life for me. My figure's just like Tetrazzini. I know it will fame if I sing in Bohème, that opera by Signor Puccini. I've roulottes and the thrills that would send the cold chills down the backs of all hearers of my vocal frills. I long to be a prima donna, donna, donna. I long to shine upon the stage. I have the embonpoint to become a queen of song, and my figure would look pretty as a page. I want to be a screechy, beachy, contrapichy, like the songbirds that I see. I hate society, I hate propriety. Art is calling for me. I'm in the elite, and men sigh at my feet. Still, I do not fancy my position. I have not much use for the men that I meet. I quite burn with lyric ambition. Those tenors so sweet, if they made love to me, I'd be a success, that I do know. And maybe I'd oust if I once sang in Faust, that opera so charming by Gounod. Girls would be on the brink of hysterics, I think. Even strong men will have to go out for a drink. I long to be a prima donna, donna, donna. I long to shine upon the stage with my avoirdupois and my tra-la-la-la-la. I would be the chief sensation of the age. I want to hear them shouting, "Viva to the diva!" Oh, very lovely that must be. That's what I'm dying for. That's what I'm sighing for. Art is calling for me. That's what I'm dying for. That's what I'm sighing for. Art is calling.
Thank you, Courtney. This next work is a famous orchestral work, and actually it was done for piano, for keyboard first, and then for orchestra, and then transcribed for band. It's by Modest Mussorgsky, and what's interesting about this is he wrote music that would go with paintings that were done by a gentleman named Victor Hartmann. The paintings are not probably what you might hang in your house. I'll just say that. So it starts with, it's actually in 6 different movements. They're all fairly short. The promenade, which you've probably heard before, that would be my guess. Then there's the old castle, that's the second movement. And then the ox cart, the sound of kind of the ox hoofs that you hear, and it's pretty slow and laborious. Then we have the ballet of the unhatched chickens. That might be my favorite painting, where you have chicken legs out of the bottom of eggshells dancing, okay? Something you'd probably put in your living room at home. And then the hut of Baba Yaga, and that's kind of a witch of a folk legend, all right? And then finally, the Great Gate of Kiev. Now, if you're not an orchestral fan, then maybe you followed Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You've heard of them? Emerson, Lake and Palmer did pictures at an exhibition. They did it in 1971. They had heard this before, and they decided, hey, we would do that. So a rock band performed this as well. But tonight, it's a transcription of the orchestral piece that was done by Jim Curnow. So this is Pictures at an Exhibition. Looking for Noah. Years ago, like a long time ago, when I went to Central Junior High, the band director at Central Junior High over there was a gentleman named John Kammer. John Kammer, very fine saxophone player, also was the band manager for many years with the Municipal Band. And in fact, when I followed Mr. Huber and I started, John was there as the band manager, and he made that transition so much easier for me. And then he unexpectedly died at a younger age, should have had many more years left. So the band commission and myself, and we talked and we thought, what can we do to, in his memory to remember? And so years ago, we started the John Kammer Youth Soloist Competition. And they come up to the Bradley campus and they play a solo that is available, you know, for band and for soloist. And so our winner, as you can see, is a saxophone player. That just happened that way. It's been other instruments in the past. This is Noah Johnson. He's going to be a senior this fall at Washington Community High School. And over there he participates in the Symphonic Winds and the Marching Panthers and in the jazz ensemble, does all those things that you expect. He's also been in the ILMEA District 4 Honor Band for 3 years, and he was selected for All-State just as a sophomore. He won a soloist award at the Illinois State University Jazz Festival just this past spring, and also Best in Room at the Illinois High School Association Solo and Ensemble Contest on alto sax. He doesn't just do your standard performance, but he also plays in the original Skaz band for the last couple years. And interestingly, he began on tenor sax. Now, he's got an alto. There it is. Show him the alto. And then, George, show him the tenor sax. Tenor sax is just a little bit bigger. So he started on that instrument and then ended up also studying classical saxophone with Keith Zimmerman, who was a Washington resident, and played alto. And then now he's been studying with Doug Stewart as well. After college, he intends on going off and being an engineering major, which that's a real common thing there, engineering and fine musicians. So give Noah a nice welcome. Would you give him a welcome? The piece that he's going to play was actually composed back in 1943 by a gentleman named Bernard Haydn. He was a military band musician. He had studied with Paul Hindemith, and there were fine saxophone players in the band, so he wrote pieces for them, and this is one of them. It's called Diversion for Alto Saxophone and Concert Band. can see it through the plastic right there. There's your name. I hope we spelled it right. There's a plaque, and the plaque goes to the high school for the year. And then there's also a gift certificate back here from Kidder Music, who for all the time that we've run this has always given us a gift certificate for the winner to spend on reeds, music, whatever you want. So please thank Noah again. He did a great job tonight. The next work that we have for you is actually was written for a gentleman named James Slutz, and he, at the time the march was written, was at Florida Southern College down in Lakeland, Florida. He was actually born in Bethany, Missouri, and went to grade school there, and then he went to the Missouri Military Academy in Mexico, Missouri, graduated back in 1955, got a bachelor's degree and a master's in music, and went to be a music director in a small town in Missouri, ended up being the principal for a while also. Then he went to Orlando, Florida, where he established a department of music at Orlando Junior College, and from there he became the educational director for a music company, Street Music, and then he ended up at Florida Southern College in Lakeland, Florida. And eventually what he did, he moved his family over to Indiana State University, and he led their music business program there for many years. He was also invited by Clifton Williams, a very well-known band composer, to be his assistant conductor for European tours back in 1972 and also one in 1994. This is a march you probably haven't heard before, but it was dedicated to Jim and the Florida Southern College Concert Band. This is Hollingsworth March by Eric Osterling. Well, it's always great to have Courtney perform with us, and I want to remind you, you can also hear her now on Sunday night. That'll be about 8 o'clock at Glen Oak Park Amphitheater. And if we don't see you there, of course, we'll be back here next Wednesday, and then the following Sunday we'll be at Glen Oak Park again. And if you have questions about any of the schedule, you can find it on our website, Peoria Municipal Band, all one word, .com. Very original website name. Please welcome back our vocal soloist for the week, Courtney Frye.
Sorry, I pushed that in quite far. So Irving Berlin was born in 1888 in the Russian Empire. And like many Jews at that time, he and his family fled Russia and went to America and landed at Ellis Island in New York City in 1903 when Irving was just 5 years old. And his story is the quintessential American dream, starting from nothing with his family and pursuing his dream of being a singing waiter. And then eventually he became one of the most well-known American composers of his time. So this medley that we're going to be doing for you is American medley. He wrote a ton of American music. The 4 songs that are represented are, this is the Army, Mr. Jones, Give Me Your Tired, You're Poor, This Is a Great Country, and God Bless America. Jerome Kern said of Irving Berlin has no place in American music. He is American music. So here is Songs for America by Irving Berlin.
This is the Army, Mr. Jones. No private rooms or telephones. You had your breakfast in bed before, but you won't have it there anymore. This is the Army, Mr. Green. We like the barracks nice and clean. You had a housemaid to clean your floor, but you won't have her there anymore. Do what the buglers command. They're in the army and not in a band. This is the Army, Mr. Brown. You and your baby went to town. She had you worried, but this is war, and she won't worry you anymore. Give me your country, so let's shout it clear and loud. Take a look at your history book, and you'll see why you should be proud. Hats off to America, the home of the free and the brave. If this is flag waving, do you know of a better flag to wave? If this is flag waving, do you know of a better flag to wave? God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans, right with Miss America, my home sweet home. Miss America, my home sweet.
Time for our drawing. So check your driver's license, check your name, so that you can match it up with what Mr. Baker is about to draw.
Speaking of matching up, Courtney even coordinates with the microphone up here. I'll tell you what, that's great. And the red shirt's behind me. Lindenhof is going to be giving away a buffet, and we want Owen Ackerman. Is Owen Ackerman here? All right, there we go. We got something for you. Thank you. Back to the great band.
Heads up now. Let's be evenly spaced. Could we move over here, George? So one of the true American art forms that we'll celebrate this evening and also on Sunday night is Dixieland. And it kind of evolved primarily from ragtime and the blues, that sort of thing. The earliest styles, of course, we associate with New Orleans, but also with Chicago jazz musicians as well. And, you know, people like Jelly Roll Morton and Louis Armstrong and all those folks. So our Dixieland band is up here. And Todd's panicked because he's like, wait a minute, he's talking and I need to move the microphone. Too bad. On tuba down there, that's Alex Borst. And there's Mr. Carl Anderson on trombone, Jesse Church on trumpet, George Graves Jr., who you know well, on the tenor sax. And hiding behind me is Jill Shea on clarinet. And then don't forget, in the back, we have Mr. Jeremy Clark. He's on the drum set back there. This is Dixieland Jam. How about another round of applause for the Peoria Municipal Band, Dixieland Band? Did okay. How about that? You can hear them again Sunday night as well, so Sunday at Glen Oak Park, and as I said, we'll start playing about 8. And of course, next Wednesday, we'll be right back here. There's a number of people we want to thank tonight. Let's first thank all the Peoria Municipal Band commissioners for all that they do, getting the restaurant gift certificates and everything. Give them a big round of applause. Very appreciative. It's a working group. We also want to thank all the folks that work down here at Kelleher's, and thank Pat for all the setting up that they do on this side of the fence. We want to thank every one of you for coming tonight. We appreciate that. And then, of course, our vocal soloist, Courtney Huffman Frye. Give her a big round of applause. And our student soloist, Noah Johnson. We wish him all the best in his engineering and continued musical career. And then behind the scenes, there's a number of people in this group, as you know, that help out. Laurel Fills and Etzel is our assistant conductor. Kristen Sheets is our band librarian. George Graves Jr., our band manager. Liz Driscoll does publicity. Frank does everything that we tell him to do. Just give him a big round of applause. And then don't forget Denise Cooksey, folks, right here. Denise Cooksey, give her a big round of applause. She's the flute player that sits right here on the end. Thank you so much, Denise. So Sunday night, 8 o'clock, or next Wednesday, we'll see you right back here at 7 p.m. And again, we appreciate your support, especially in this week where we celebrate Independence Day. Give you a few moments to reflect on what a great country it is in which we live. This is America the Beautiful.